Yeah.
I think one of the things that was most upsetting both to Xbox gamers and to employees is that, one of the shuttered studios in particular just created a hit game, did really well on Game Pass in terms of engagement, and won a ton of awards. Shouldn't succeeding in that way ensure the future of a studio?
Shit. You gotta give it some passion too, man. And you gotta, it's all right, it's okay. There's something to live for.
Shred did.
One of the things I really
love
about the hit game. That was a hit game. It's a creative art form.
Welcome everybody to the Couch Crunch podcast. For anybody new, just hit like and subscribe. It really helps us out, and hit that thumbs up. Today we're going to be going over Microsoft currently is closing the Redfall developer Hi-Fi Rush devs are in major cuts, and man, it doesn't look too good for Microsoft. What do you guys think about it?
I'll say when I said, and honestly, I'm not even sure if that was like the limit of the cuts. It might be some more, which if it is, it's crazy. But honestly, for one, I'll just say this: it's never funny or really good when like people lose their jobs, especially in the gaming industry, especially if they made like really good products. Now, Arcane, yes, Redfall wasn't good, obviously, but Arcane has been known to make like from what I heard, really good games. I believe they've been known to make really good games.
Right.
So just one dud shouldn't have been the end of them, obviously, but it's unfortunate that's the way it happened. And Tango, which lost their head honcho, which was Shinji Mikami, like a couple months ago. Once they released Hi-Fi Rush, and that was the one game that like people really loved from a Microsoft studio, so to speak. They really liked that, and to see them close down. Not only that was like one of the only Japanese developers. You know how Microsoft ain't got no Japanese support, so that's like I kind of feel like they could have did cuts elsewhere rather than that. But everyone's online going crazy about it, talking trash about Microsoft, yada yada. They put the little president. She's the president, right? Sarah Bond. Is she the president? What is she?
I think she is. I'm not sure. Hold on.
She's just a figurehead. I don't know what she is, but I do know they kind of were wrong. They kind of were wrong to put her out there on blast, to have her answer a question from that lady during the interview. Like, come on now. I think she knows why they cut. Well, she probably does know. She's probably aware. Maybe I'm being too soft for her. But
how do you spell her last name?
Bond, Bond, B-O-N-D.
B-O-N.
Sarah Bond, Microsoft or some shit like that. Yeah, there you go. There was an interview up where she like kind of like
president of Xbox.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So she's the president, right? So she's aware of some stuff. Not that she has the end all be all of what happens or what gets cut, because that's clearly a Microsoft thing. That's clearly when they go to talk to Phil and Matt Booty, I believe it is, about that. They go to talk to those guys about that. But overall, just seeing these guys kind of like basically lose their jobs, and at the amazing game like Hi-Fi Rush is just insane. Now we don't know what's the real story behind these cuts. We don't really know if because Hi-Fi Rush didn't sell too well, or that Arcane's Redfall was just that shitty.
We have to assume that Redfall didn't do so good as far as numbers.
Redfall definitely didn't do good. Redfall didn't do good. Redfall definitely didn't do good. But unfortunately, I think I'm listening off things that I think that probably could have happened. So here's the first thing on me. And feel free to jump in, anyone, that you had like any objection or if you have any thoughts on it too. For one, I can't imagine Redfall sold very well. One, it released day and date on Game Pass. I don't think that's good. That's stupid, honestly. They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, the first week sales didn't do too well at all.
Yeah, but I'm saying you don't do that. That's stupid. I just don't know why you would do that, quite frankly. I get it. Game Pass makes you money. It's a subscription service. It's the future. Yada yada. But some games shouldn't be on there. Some games need to earn that money back fully rather than just being on a subscription service. And I'm not sure what they were thinking on that. Good thing Redfall was on Game Pass, because I wasn't gonna pay for that shit. But I can't imagine Game Pass did all too good for Hi-Fi Rush, and that's unfortunate, because Hi-Fi Rush is a really good game, one of the more creative games they came out with all year, quite frankly. And secondly, I imagine this has something to do with them having to make cuts to start making some money again. They bought Activision for like what with that number, $7.5 billion. And listen, that's not small money. That's not small money. Even for Microsoft, that's not. Man, Microsoft's still rich as hell, obviously, but that's not small money. When you spend that type of money on acquiring a company or whatever or stuff like that, you are expected to at least have a plan to make that money back and then some. That's not free money. Yeah, and so I imagine they probably like, oh well, who we can't cut anyone from Activision. You know what I mean? We can't do that. We can't cut anyone from Bethesda directly. We can't do that. Who can we cut or who can we fire or whatever from like one of our smaller teams or whatever, or smaller teams under Bethesda? Who can we cut? And that would be Arcane under Bethesda, and I think Tango is also still under Bethesda as well, I believe. Those are the two teams. And like that was just unfortunate. Those are my thoughts. At least that's my thinking of what happened. Like they do have to make that money back. $7.5 billion. That's and now I heard that they're even debating on putting Call of Duty on Game Pass. Like,
yeah, that's the word that's going around right now is that they're so desperate that they feel like that this might actually boost their sales as far as Xbox, Game Pass. Exactly. But again, like we still don't know how much percentage that does Xbox really get. I'm sure it's some type of percentage in Game Pass, like games. They still get paid from it somewhat. It's a streaming service, so they make the money from the streaming service. They don't make the game from they don't make the money from the actual game because it's on the service. But
right,
you know what I mean? Like it's dude, they're running out of resources here. I feel like they have to do something to increase, not make that money back. I feel like at this point the reason they invested that investment because at the time it was the smart thing to do. But they didn't see this in hindsight that, that these games were going to deplummet. You know what I mean? Like they didn't know that, Redfall was going to be like that because they did promote the shit out of it during the presentations last year.
They did promote the shit out of that game.
We didn't know that it was going to come with that many issues. The way the game looks is pretty bad. It had a great idea, which we talked about, last week with, having creativity in games, it was very creative. It just, the execution was terrible. You know what I mean?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Arcane is the same thing too. Like I didn't know that Arcane was actually gonna, be cut from the budget too.
Yeah, they were cut.
Yeah, I don't know what is with the cuts because they're trying to save money because obviously they're losing. Yeah, they're trying to save as much as possible.
Exactly.
Because now they're changing their name. Now that we know that it's called what Microsoft Games or something.
Games
I'm not. I'm not sure.
Like
I know they changed the title because. It's just Xbox the brand itself is just like collapsing.
The brand is really collapsing, and it
sucks. And I'm telling you, it's a shame because a lot of fans. You got podcasters out there. You got a lot of support behind their back where they're just still waiting for something to be the next Halo or the next like the biggest thing out there to be like, oh, you Sony fans or you fucking PC fans. Right. Because I mean, PC should be incorporated with that same industry because it's always been a shared kind of conjoined thing there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why it would be like, oh, well, no, it's just straight Xbox like users. Not like, no, it's all Microsoft. It's all under the same umbrella. So it's always be, a support. But now they're like, oh, nobody really wants to hear anybody else's like comments on like their support because
they don't.
You know what I mean? Like they really want to be the superior, like marketing.
Funny thing is, what's killing them is when Phil Spencer goes on Twitter or X or whatever you'll say it, and starts talking about some Xbox will take a gaming in the future. When he keeps talking like that, I know that pisses some people off. Like you keep saying all this bullshit, but then you're shutting down companies and shit, developers and everything. Like what? So I mean,
because he's like unemploying like a bunch of people now from the Arcane. Like it's. So I unemployed a bunch of people like early on last year too, so it's like, damn, they're on staff at this point.
And my bad, the ZeniMax was the $7.5 billion. I think the Activision merger was like $39 billion or something like that, which is still an insane amount of money. That's crazy. But
I mean, there's no way that they're going to be able to make them. I mean, it's still a powerful company, like you said before. Like it's still Microsoft. I'm sure they got the right. Their Xbox is still funded by fucking Microsoft, so it's like they're still they are one of the most powerful like companies in the world. So I mean, like I don't feel like it's an issue with the money, but they are pretty pissed off at the fact we made those investments and they didn't even triple that, because the point is to invest to make more money, and they didn't do that. So it's like,
and they're probably thinking like
and now it's probably Phil Spencer's fault, like you fucking idiot, like you know what I mean?
No, but it's like it's they're probably just like, we spent all this money acquiring these studios. What's your plan to make this money back? What's your plan to invest in these studios? We're putting a lot of money into Xbox. Xbox isn't really making us any money. Like, we're losing money on it. So like,
where keep going on these podcasts and these videos and saying, oh, this is just the beginning. We are just getting started. We have more content rolling out to you guys by next year. Just wait. Just be patient. We are trying to get the best experience out of the Xbox and really push the experience through. And it's like, I don't want to hear the corporate answer. I want to hear you say, will we get something that is going to be expected for fans to be excited for, or something that is going to say, going to get us, to want to invest in your products even more? Because everybody, if you have an Xbox still, I mean, that's great. But most of the times, like, most people just already got rid of that and then got a PC, because why not? If you're in the middle, you know what I mean? Like, you got PS5 exclusives rolling over now. Now I think we're getting what are we getting next? I just read up on Twitter or something that I think the next exclusive is going to be was it God of War? No, it wasn't God of War Ragnarok.
Was it Horizon?
I think it was Horizon, or it was another one that just came. Oh, I think it was Spider-Man.
Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. But I think Ghost of Tsushima was on there already, though.
Nah, it's releasing. It's releasing soon, I believe.
Oh, okay. But I'm saying they're still going to continue to keep making exclusives for the PC, which that's what I mean. Like, most people are saying, like, what's the point of buying an Xbox? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I still think you should own a PC, but I mean, obviously, it's just better to have a console of an Xbox.
See,
like, you know what I mean?
You talk about Nick. You mentioned corporate talk. Sarah Bond, God bless her soul, she gave the most corporate ass speech for 1 minute during that little interview. I'll give it to her. That's what she's trained for. That's what she does. That's what her job is essentially to do.
She's reading off of cards. That's all she is.
Yeah, she's reading off. She that was. You can tell she don't want to answer it. Look at her face. She really don't want to answer. That is the look of a mad woman right there. She's like, I don't want to answer this bullshit. I feel bad for her, but she has to answer it. And they say that everyone was going around talking on Twitter. Everyone was talking about stuff. Yo, she didn't even say anything for 1 whole minute. She literally said nothing about the fucking studio closures. What the fuck did you think? What the fuck did you expect her to say? Like,
right. That's another thing too. Like, they just had a meeting, I believe, like earlier this year about how they're gonna transfer like games like Hi-Fi over to Nintendo, shit like that. I'm like,
a lot of that's related to our need to
look, you can tell that she's like trying to she's trying to like she's trying to like come up with some shit right on the top. She's like, listen, I don't know how to really save this company, but I gotta make some shit up to keep my job. You know what I mean?
Gotta make some shit up to keep my job.
Yeah, I mean,
make them.
Do you even play games? Like, I want to ask her that too. Like, just grab the mic and be like,
I think she does.
Is about how
all right.
we do things to help the industry.
Now listen to what she said. She really doesn't say anything.
While also ensuring that our brand, everything that we do is there through this moment of transition.
Related to some of the trends you're
You're
identifying, earlier this week, Xbox announced the shuttering of 4 game studios. I know you're not the studio team, but how should gamers understand that move in terms of Microsoft's commitment to developing innovative exclusive games?
That's a bad.
Yeah,
question.
it's
look at her face.
I
feel bad
to make decisions like that.
She's like, we don't
I'll
really
go back to
have
what I was
a lot
saying
of
about the
innovative
industry,
exclusive
and
games, but
when
you
we
know,
look at
we
those
are
fundamental
trying to make
trends,
more
Exactly.
arcade
we feel a
games.
deep
Yeah.
responsibility
I'm just here
to
for
ensure that the
Look,
games
look,
we
look,
make,
look, you
the
could
That's
tell
what I'm
that she's
saying. You can
struggling.
see. You can see. You can see her
that we
face. I'm telling you,
offer
man. You can see.
are there through moments, even when the industry isn't growing and when you're through a time of transition. And the
Look at the
news
blinks.
we
Look at
announced earlier this week is an outcome of that. And our commitment to make sure that the business is healthy for the long term. But that said, our commitment
Our
to
commitment.
having our own studios and working with partners to have games large and
partners.
small.
You see those
You know,
pauses?
we're a
You see those
platform where
pauses?
you can
Like she's
play
trying to connect the
GTA,
lines as
you can
much as
She's trying to
possible.
as much as possible.
where you can play Call of Duty and you can also play Pentiment. That doesn't change. And frankly, our
Where's
commitment
Halo
to
5? No, where's Halo 6
to
or
Bethesda
7?
and
Whatever
the
the
role
fucking
that it
number
plays
is now.
That
is
last one
part
was your
of
Halo
Xbox
6.
and everything
That
we
was
do.
it
It's
was
actually been
bad.
pretty
It
fantastic.
wasn't
I don't
good.
know if
I'm
you guys had a
sorry. It
chance to
was
check
like
out.
it died so
Um,
fast,
The
man.
Fallout TV show was on Amazon.
See, and that's
And
what
it's
you're
been great
banking
to
off
see
of. You're
people
banking
fall
off
in
of a
love
TV
with that
show. I don't want to
universe,
hear
also what it's
TV
done
shows. I want to hear
for
games.
the games themselves and people going back and exploring everything that's inside of that. There's some other great things that are coming from our studios later this year. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I was a big indie fan growing up. Looks like you were too.
That shit could flop.
So you
I
should
don't
check
know.
that out.
What do you guys think about
But
that?
really,
Indiana
right now
Jones?
for
I
us
just don't
and our
think that's.
teams,
It
our
can't be stuck on
focus is
Xbox.
on
Not alone.
the
I'm gonna say
people
that it can't be
impacted,
stuck only on
No,
and
I
doing
think
Xbox.
it has to
everything that we
be
can do to help
PlayStation
them
too
make
as
the
well.
PC.
transition.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that was most upsetting both to Xbox gamers and to employees is that, you know, one of the Shuttered studios in particular just created a hit game, did really well on Game Pass and in terms of engagement, and won a ton of awards. Shouldn't succeeding in that way ensure the future of a studio?
Man, it didn't.
You know, one of the things I really
It didn't, though. It didn't.
love
That
about
was a
the
hit
games
game. That was a
industry
hit
is it's a
game.
creative art form, and it means that
Yeah.
I think one of the things that was most upsetting both to Xbox gamers and to employees is that, you know, one of the Shuttered studios in particular just created a hit game, did really well on Game Pass and in terms of engagement, and won a ton of awards. Shouldn't succeeding in that way ensure the future of a studio?
Man, it didn't.
you know,
One
one of the things I really
It didn't, though. It didn't.
love
That
about
was a
the
hit
games
game. That was a
industry
hit
is it's a
game.
creative
It-
art form, and it means that
You know?
situation
Yo, I'm gonna put
and
that
what
in one of our
success
videos.
is
You know?
each game and studio is also really unique. Like there's no one size fits all to it for us. And
Yeah, I feel
so
bad.
Hard for
we
her to
look
stomach all this.
at
I really, I
each
know. I
studio,
really feel
each
bad
game
for her because
team, and we
it
look at a
should
full
be
variety
Phil
of
Spencer and Matt
factors
Booty
when
on
we're
the
faced
on
with
there
making
rather than her.
decisions.
It really
and
Yeah, no,
should.
she's
trade-offs.
what
like
an
that.
excellent strategy for
But it
somebody
all
else to
comes
like
back
take the
to
fire.
our
You know what I
That's
mean? Like
excellent
it's
strategy.
You know,
yeah,
the games
like
we create, the devices
he
we
knows
build,
these
the
his
services,
fucking
and
marketing,
ensuring
his
that we're
fucking
setting
company is plummeting.
ourselves
Come
up
on.
to be able to deliver on those promises.
Maybe hire a new CEO. Maybe he
Talking
can fix some things up.
further
I
about
don't
Yeah.
know.
growth, I
I
mean, one of the
mean-
key focus areas for
Well, I mean,
Xbox
they
in
had-
terms of growth, and this was also one of the key bets in the Activision acquisition, was mobile.
Mhm.
What's the Xbox plan for future mobile gaming, and when can we finally see it?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
such a-
It
yo,
feels
these
like it's
people
been a
are
long
asking
time
great
since we
questions,
announced
bro.
the
Yup,
Activision
yup,
acquisition,
it is
which
though.
we
When
did in
can we finally
October.
see it?
And the whole thesis about that, a lot of why we did it was about mobile. And we felt strongly that there has been an opportunity for there to be an experience on mobile that is centered around gamers. Like we talk a lot about how there's 3 billion gamers in the world. Two of those
How'd you get those
billion
numbers?
play
That's
on
actually-
mobile.
they're like
that might
and
be
half
accurate.
of those
19,000
actually play on
people.
mobile and they play on
That's
a
like the
device.
total amount.
But there
currently.
isn't actually a gaming platform and store experience that is centered
8%
around
of
players
this is
and
workforce.
goes truly
showing
across device,
60
where who you are, your library, your identity, your rewards, that travels with you versus being locked to a single ecosystem.
Right.
And we've recognized
She's
that
going
opportunity for a long
around
time,
the
but we
question.
wanted
She
to
is,
Like,
make
she
what are
is,
you
sure
she
that
is.
doing?
She's
anything
going
we
around
built
the
was
question.
really
She was-
grounded in people who
that's
play
president speak
those
though.
mobile native
That's
games
president speak. That's how
and
you
the
do it.
creators of them.
Every
And
president,
so
every
being
president, I guess, of
joined
the
with
American
a team
division
that
of the
has
of a
real
gaming
deep
company has
expertise
This
done
is
in
something
mobile.
like
politics,
this.
baby.
This is
This is-
politics.
but we are
This is
that now.
politics.
And so in July, we are going to be launching our mobile store experience.
You're
we're gonna
launching a
start
store.
actually by bringing our own first-party portfolio to that. So you're going to see games
Man.
like Candy Crush show up in that experience. games like Minecraft.
No one
Hold up,
cares,
but
bro.
that makes
And then we're going to
money. That
extend that
makes money. Hold
capability
up, that
to
makes money.
partners, so that they can also
for the
take
older
advantage of it
audience.
and have a true
That's money. That's the money.
cross-platform
That is the
gaming-centric
money.
mobile experience. We're going to start on the web, and we're doing that
feel-
because that really allows us to have it be an experience that's accessible across all devices, all countries, no matter what, independent of the policies of closed ecosystem stores. And then we're going to extend from there. So I'm excited about it.
Extend
just
from
'cause
there.
it's
No, what
something
is
that
the
we've
extension?
wanted to do
Give
for
me
a
an
long
answer.
time. We've heard gamers talking about it for a long time, and we're now at the point where we can take those steps.
Now,
And so
I'll
in,
say,
in July when it launches,
I'll
you at that
say,
point, at the beginning, see Candy Crush.
I'll say this.
God.
One, she's getting killed out there, obviously, and that kind of sucks that she.
She's trying.
No, she's trying. It sucks that she herself has to go through that. Honestly, it really does. But I'll say that. Jokes aside, I know there's people making videos about it. This is like one of the biggest topics this week. Honestly, people just are pissed
upset.
about this. They're upset. But I'll say this. A couple things. But first, I'll start with this. Xbox has always been a pillar in the gaming community. When the first Xbox came out, granted, I didn't own it, but I saw so many commercials about Xbox Live. They didn't start online gaming, but they certainly did pioneer it to what it is now. I'll give them
Right.
that. They are
I
part
agree
of the
with that.
community. They are part of the community in many ways. Online gaming would not be what it was without Xbox, and that's extremely important because online gaming
Which
is
is-
a huge pillar in many gamers' lives and streamers' lives, and it's online gaming is a huge component.
which is upsetting for us as the fans because you played such an important piece into revolutionizing the gaming industry.
Yes,
And to see that the pioneers are sinking the ship,
yes.
you know what I mean? Like it's like what like come on, guys.
They had one of the first online marketplaces. They had Xbox Live was booming. They had a lot of good stuff. They started a lot of good stuff too. You know what I mean? They were definitely pioneers. They deserve to have their foot in the ring in there with Sony and Nintendo. It just sucks to see them falling apart. Secondly, honestly, if you care fans, I don't know the exact sales number. I know Don looked up the sales numbers, but I don't know what exactly are they. What they are exactly. But like, it also falls on us as fans a little bit too, because we should have bought the game, and Xbox gamers should have bought the game. You shouldn't have bought it. Honestly, you probably shouldn't have bought it. You shouldn't have waited to Game Pass to play that game. Half-Hour Rush, you don't do that. You just buy it outright. It's a $40 game. Honestly, I'm not calling anyone broke.
Like most of their exclusives are now just being translated to the Gaming Pass. Like,
exactly, and like
I feel like that is the only thing that is they're being saved on.
It is, and they know, this is why they push it so much. Honestly, I don't see. I know people have been calling for Phil Spencer to lose his job, which is crazy. I think Phil Spencer, I think Phil Spencer should at least stay off of Twitter. I'll say that. Stay off of Twitter. Stop with all the stop engaging with the memes and stuff like that. Yeah, him and Matt Booty just stay off of there because you guys are just doing really.
Stop telling Sarah to take the hits for you.
Yeah,
bro.
stop telling Sarah to take the hits for you. He should have been out there. But honestly, that's what I have on that one. That's my end thought. I'll just this isn't the end of the world for Xbox, but this is probably the lowest point they've been in quite some time. Console sales nosediving, exclusives falling apart, and Hellblade 2 comes out in like a week, and we didn't hear anything about that. It's ridiculous.
No. Like they did not advertise that game whatsoever. Like we've gotten the trailer for the presentation, but we didn't really get there's no ads on YouTube, there's no ads on Instagram or anything.
Nothing.
But we're gonna, when it comes out, we'll get a post from Xbox on their Twitter. Yeah, look, this is the most the best game we have out in the market.
They have like an Xbox presentation coming up soon. I'm not sure what they could do to turn that around. It's coming up, I think, in a week or something like that. It's a presentation. I don't know what the hell they could do to possibly turn that one around. I'm gonna be real with you on that. Those are my thoughts on it. But just